Staring down Goliath. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Recovery Classroom. My name is Drew. I am a recovering alcoholic, and I'm still sober, and I'm still enjoying each and every single day. I've never met somebody who's ever regretted getting clean and sober. One of the topics that came in over the weekend whenever we asked for monologue topics, came from our friend James. He posed the topic, life on life's terms. And I think that's a topic you can never discuss too much, truth be told. Matter of fact, just last week, I talked about, on the monologue, life on life events, these events that will pop up, certain events that will pop up in our lives. But as I said, I don't think it's a topic that you can ever talk too much about. I want to try to add a little bit more context, a little bit more depth today on the topic, since obviously I'm limited on time and I wasn't able to get it all in last week. When I first started diligently working on my recovery back in July of 2021, it was about a month. I was about a month in, and I got connected by chance or by God. In my mind, it's by God. I got connected with a group of guys down in Huntington, West Virginia that, they were honest, they were sincere, they weren't full of shit, and they were truthful, and they told me what I needed to hear rather than what I wanted to hear. And I remember them telling me, Drew, you're going to get sober, but chances are the problems you've got going on in your life right now are probably going to get worse. So I was under no impression, no illusion whatsoever was in my mind that I was going to get clean and sober and all my problems are going to disappear. Wasn't it at all. Matter of fact, through working with my sponsor and trying to have as many different conversations as I possibly could with these guys, having that back and forth dialogue, that's why that's important, by the way, I came to understand that my sobriety, my recovery was about preparing me to learn how to deal with those life-on-life terms, if you will. Now, I remember, especially the first year of my sobriety, I'm focused on my sobriety, making sure I just don't put that first drink in me, and all this bad shit's popping up. And again, through working with people, I came to realize that, my old default behavior, when something bad would happen, my old default behavior was to pour a bottle of booze down my throat. And in my recovery, I came to learn, well, hell, I get to pick a new default behavior, right? I don't have to go pour a drink down my throat when something bad happens. And even to this day, I still have to remember that. And I heard something early on in my recovery, and I can't tell you who said it to me. I remember hearing it and it stuck. I call it the Superman mentality. And this applies not just to recovery, but to many things, many different aspects in our life. You can apply it to health and fitness, to those people who may be trying to exercise and get in shape and all that. It applies there too. And it's this idea that Superman was only super whenever bad shit was going on. Whenever Doc Ock was out running around or Lex Luthor was out doing stupid things, that's when Superman was super. Otherwise, Superman, well, he was just kind of Clark Kent. And while his glasses may have looked cool, let's be honest, Clark Kent was, well, a little boring, right? So Superman was only super whenever bad shit was going on, whenever he was having to deal with Lex Luthor or Doc Ock or whoever the other villains were in his story. Superman was only super whenever bad stuff was going on. And you can apply that same mentality, because again, we got a thinking problem, not a drinking problem or drugging problem, thinking problem. If we start viewing those life on life terms as our Doc Ock, as our Lex Luthor, then maybe hell, we can become super too. I heard another analogy just last week, I think it was, maybe earlier this week, I heard this other analogy, and it's a lot more poignant for me. I'm not here to preach. I'll never be a preacher by any means, but I do love history, and I go back to the oldest history book in the world. It's the Bible, and you look at the story of David, how David went from a little shepherd boy, a kid in the fields, tending to his flock of sheep, all the way to a throne and becoming king of this new nation known as Israel. How did that happen? What did that transition look like? He went from the field to the throne, and in the middle of it was Goliath. And that's my whole purpose here, is to share with you, God, we don't know that God would have made David king without Goliath. David needed his Goliath in his life to stare him down in order for David to become king. And it's because David stared down his Goliath that he ultimately did become king. And that's the take-home message for you. That Goliath that you may be staring down today, that you may be staring down this week, that Goliath could be the very one thing that helps propel you you, and that could become that catalyst to help move you closer and closer to your ultimate dream of long-term sobriety. Just because you're staring down Goliath, don't go back to that default behavior. Recognize it as this is your opportunity to become Superman, and this is your opportunity to become king of your recovery. So with that being said, I'm out of time. Thank you guys for letting me come in and share 5 to 10 minutes of your day with you. You guys, absolutely keep me sober, and I could not be any more grateful. If there's a topic you'd like to hear us discuss, feel free to drop it on, send it to us on the Recovery Classroom Facebook page. You can drop it, post it on one of these video monologues. And if you do like the content of these video monologues, feel free to like and share with your friends and family members on your own social media channels as well. We'll be talking again soon, guys. Remember, you can't get drunk if you don't take that first drink.